All right, what's up, everybody? This is Rob Shack. Thank you all so much for the support. I have actually figured out how to break the or refix the game. I had to just start over, but thank you to all the people who gave me advice for what to do with that. But since I started this, I might as well continue along with this little thing that I've been doing, which is just the head-to-head of every version of the car in the game. And we're starting with New York, so we're going to do the Crusero Excelente, the Jones J420, and the Piranha PDQ R. So we're going to compare all three of those. We're going to compare them to their original version, and then we're going to compare them to the second version of each of the cars that they are basically competing against. So we'll start with the Crusero Excelente. As you can see there, it basically is a massive improvement over the Crusero Bueno. And when you compare it to what I'm going to do, by the way, is just drive around for a while with the car and just kind of do some turns. You can kind of see how it handles, because the handling stat doesn't really show. Like, obviously you can tell that it's a handling car that handles well or whatever, but I want to show you basically how it drives too. So yeah, by the way, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, share, all that great stuff. I think I got off my intro in. I don't know. I said a lot of things really fast there, so hopefully that wasn't too crazy. To sum it up, if you're new to the channel, I broke my game. You cannot, Mr. Smashboy was right, you cannot swap your car a lot. Basically, especially when you've beaten two of the three henchmen 3 times, go to cruise. You have to go to cruise right away. If you don't, the game will break and Kareem won't spawn in. So you have to cruise after you beat the second henchman or hookman 3 times. You cannot switch and do the cell phone or anything like that. You have to do it normally. You have to go to cruise. So if you're new to the channel, that's what happened in my video 2 weeks ago. I had to basically restart the entire game, which sucked. And I mean, it's not too bad. It's an arcade racer. It's not horrible. But then what I ended up having to do is start over. And then, yeah, when you beat one of the people all 3 times, go to cruise. Then you do the same thing with the car, the second version, or the second person. After you do that, then you'll be able to get Kareem to spawn in. That's the only way. It's freaking impossible to get the game fixed again. So, while that was broken, and while I still wanted to make content for the game, what I ended up doing was doing a head-to-head of the Crusero Bueno, the Piranha PDQ, and the Jones J400, and then that was pretty fun, and people kind of liked it. So what I ended up doing is starting a little mini-series, and now I'm going to do that today. So this is the Crusero Excelente. Overall, it is a massive improvement from the Crusero Bueno. Overall, the handling and durability, sometimes with that, I think the handling with this car is better, but the durability is significantly less. But, that's not the most important stat to me. The most important stats by far are top speed, acceleration, and handling. Those are the 3 that are pretty essential, because durability obviously restores after every race, and also if you total the car, you immediately get fully stocked again. So it's not super big deal to have durability be high. Also, if you're doing a world race, you're gonna want to wow, you're gonna want to don't do that. But if you're gonna want to try to stand under control anyway. If you have good handling, then you're less likely to hit stuff anyway. So yeah, the Crusero Excelente is the, again, middle ground car of the 3. So when you have the Crusero Excelente versus the Jones J420 and the Piranha PDQ R, the Crusero is just the middle of the ground, very average stats, very safe car to use. It's just super reliable. It's very durable, not as durable as the Bueno, but more durable, I'm pretty sure, than both the Jones and the Piranha, but I'll check in a second when I get back. Handling is good, top speed is good. It just kind of keeps accelerating pretty consistently. That's the thing I've noticed with the Crusero Excelente, and the Bueno too, really. The Excelente just kind of keeps accelerating. It doesn't really have a massive drop off. You'll notice when I get to the Piranha PDQ R, it accelerates extremely fast, and then it has a terrible top speed, and it starts to slow down really fast. This car is kind of if you hit some stuff, it's good, because it's basically a middle ground between the Jones and the Piranha. But I think this car is very good for the middle of the ground car. I actually think I'll come to the end of the video and talk about what I think at the end of it. But this is a very good car, durable, fast, good handling, very average, and it improves a lot on the Crusero Bueno. That's kind of the thing that you'll notice with the second tier car is the other two options are kind of a bummer, and I'll get to them in a second. But yeah, I think the Crusero Excelente is very, very good. You know, the mechanics of this game make every car flip, so that's not really the Crucero's fault. Every car will flip in the air if you do certain things. Overall, yes, very good car, very fast. No NOS yet. We'll get to that with the third one, but it's a good car. So now we will move on to the Jones J420. As you will see, the Jones. So yeah, this is how the Excelente works. It basically is better in every way except for durability, but the durability is barely a drop-off, and that's pretty shockingly good. With the Jones J420, we'll talk about this more in a second, but the Jones J420 is basically, I think it's essentially the same as the Jones. The Jones J420 and the Crusero Excelente are very, very similar, but what I think I've noticed here is that the acceleration of the Jones is... Actually, wait, no. Yeah, so basically they're the exact same, except that the Excelente has lower top speed, but the durability and handling of the Excelente is better, and then the Piranha has just insane handling. It's great. But now we're going to move on to the Jones J420. This is, again, another one of those cars where, when I think about it, it's the Jones J420 is not... I think it's a little bit worse than the Crusero Excelente because the Excelente has better handling. The Jones has a little bit higher top speed, but again, if you have a lower top speed, if you have lower handling and a higher top speed, you're going to be slowing down more on every corner. I don't know if y'all noticed as I drove with the Excelente, it went really well. It steered really well, so you don't lose a lot of speed. So if you can somehow keep the Jones at a higher top speed, it's going to be really good. But again, the Jones to me is the most challenging car to use in the game. The Jones, this is the J420 by the way, as I keep kind of going back and forth between the names because what I'm doing obviously is comparing the Jones J400 to the J420 and also the J420 to the Crusero Excelente. With the Jones J420 compared to the regular Jones, it's weird, but they basically make the acceleration worse. It has much worse acceleration. It's pretty bad in its acceleration compared to the fact that when you're using the Jones J400, you're able to accelerate a lot faster. Handling is seems a little bit better. You have a little bit, it's more sensitive. The Jones J400 basically flips over every 2 seconds, even on turns. That right there, that is not because of the Jones. Don't take that part of the video because of the Jones. So with the Jones J420 though, its top speed is better. So it's better than the Excelente. So if you can manage to not hit anything, the Jones J420 is faster than the Crusero. But again, you have to like really weigh in your ability to drive. The Jones is probably the best car in terms of like overall performance. The Jones J420 is, because of how fast it is in terms of its acceleration and top speed are either the same or better than the Crusero Excelente. And then, but it is weird how the the Jones J400 has better stats in two of the areas. Its durability is higher, which isn't that big of a deal, but its acceleration is way better than the Jones J420. So that's kind of a weird thing. So I think in terms of like how much of an improvement it is, it's pretty underwhelming just because with the Crusero Excelente, you get more top speed and acceleration and let me see, what's the last one? Oh, handling is higher too for that car. So it's just kind of a bummer. I think we're going to get to the Piranha in a second. I'll throw that into the mix, but comparing just the Crusero Excelente to the Jones J420, I think the Jones J420 can be better, but I still think it's the more reckless of the option. If you want to use a car that is a high risk, high reward, then go with the Jones J420, but by far the safer car is the Crusero Excelente. And then when you go to the Jones J400, it's weird how much it's worse. So I don't think the Jones J420 is really that much of a better car. Um, it is very sensitive, but not in the way like the Piranha, because the Joneses have much worse handling, and the Jones J420, although it has higher handling than the Jones J400, it's going faster, so you have, it's almost like it's just as hard, if not harder, to control. I think the dang, that mid-X truck just destroyed me. But I think the Jones J420 would need way better handling to be able to be the same, because of the fact that it has a higher top speed, but it does have a lower acceleration. It basically cancels out, and so when you have to compare the Crusero Excelente to the Jones J420, you're not getting as much of an improvement, and the things that you're improving with the Jones are not as it doesn't go as far. The benefits of using the Jones J420 versus the Crusero Excelente are not as far reaching, and you just don't have as much of an improvement compared to the previous car too. So kind of a bummer that the Jones J420 is kind of underwhelming. I still respect the Jones, and I think the Jones, I don't remember what I said for the other video, but yeah, like the Jones J400 is really, really good, honestly, except for that it almost flips over. But yeah, now we're gonna move on to the Piranha, and the Piranha PDQ R is a really weird car to me in this game. So like, it literally has the exact same stats, except that it has more acceleration. So the Piranha PDQ R is like, to me, the like super duper safe option in terms of like, just in terms of the middle ground cars. The middle ground ones, like, so you have the Crusero has a lot of change in its stats. It has increased handling, it has increased acceleration, and it has increased top speed. The Jones J420 has a decrease in acceleration, increase in top speed, and increase in handling. So you have a lot of changes between those two cars and their predecessors. The Piranha PDQ-R literally is the exact same car in terms of stats, except that it's faster. That's the only difference. So if you liked the Piranha PDQ, then you're going to like the Piranha PDQ-R, because it's essentially that car, but better, because its acceleration is kind of pretty high compared to what it was before. So like, its handling is still insanely good, so you rarely lose speed, and you're able to, because the acceleration is so high, you get up to speed super fast. Even when you're like juking between traffic, your car doesn't slow down that much because your acceleration is so high that it comes right back up to it quickly. It's really interesting to me. So the Piranha is just, I mean, again, such a good handling car, and I think if I had to choose which car I would pick and which car I think is the best, it's a very close tie between the Piranha PDQ-R and the Crusero Excelente. And I think I'm going to have to give it to the Crusero Excelente. Very minorly, because of the fact that with the Piranha, very little changes. So the car, if you're used to the Piranha PDQ, you're going to be right there, used to it again. The touchy handling, but not almost flipping over like the truck. You know, the Piranha actually stays really grounded. It's very grounded on the, it's very like realistic. It's very slick, very good turning, very good handling, but it doesn't almost flip over like the Jones. And then with regards to comparing it to its predecessor, the Piranha PDQ and the PDQ-R are basically the exact same car, so you really don't have a lot to get used to there. So like, ultimately, I think the Crusero is the better car of the second tier, because of the fact that you have so much of an improvement. But I'm not discrediting the Jones or the Piranha, because of the fact that the Piranha is very similar, and the Jones still has the ability to be the best car. It has the best top speed, so if you're used to driving cars that are hard to handle, then you'll love the Jones and you'll be better than everybody else. But for me, I think the Crusero Excelente is the best car of the second tier, just because of the fact that it improves so much on its predecessor, and it's, I think, the most well-rounded car of the three. The Piranha is so fast off the line, so if you're hitting a bunch of stuff and if you're taking a bunch of tight corners, the Piranha will be the better car. But the second you have a long-range, high-speed area, the Piranha is very slow. Its top speed is laughable compared to the other cars in its tier 2 comparison. The Piranha literally has the same acceleration as its predecessor. It does not improve at all. and both the Crusero Excelente and the Jones J400 or 420 both have a pretty drastic increase in their acceleration. Their increase in the acceleration is even higher than the top speed of the Piranha PDQ R, so that's like a thing to note, which is why I don't put the Piranha at the top, and it's only narrowly beating out the Jones J420 just because it does have so much handling and nothing gets weakened. The problem with the Jones J420 is stuff gets worse with the second tier of that car, but with the Crusero Excelente, you're just getting an overall improvement. So that's just kind of a rough version of these cars. I think that's pretty accurate, but let me know what you think. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. What of the second tier cars do you think is the best? Because it is very close. I'm not saying it's like the Jones J420 is terrible. It's not, even though I definitely was not for it in this one. I do think that it's the worst car, but it's just my opinion. So I would love to see in the comment section what y'all think is the what car do you think of the second tier is the worst, which is the best, and which is the middle ground. I hope y'all commented on the first video that's in this series with the first tier. I would love to know that too. I can't remember exactly what I said as I'm recording this now. I think I said that the Piranha PDQ was the best car just because of its acceleration. Because I think that I said that, if I recall correctly, the Jones would be the best if it didn't flip over all the time. But the Piranha is the safest car, so as a result, you're able to really get into the game more consistently. But again, that's just that video. Go check it out. I don't remember what I said, so I could not even be quoting that correctly. But with this video, I'm going to say that the Crusero Excelente is the best. And yeah, that's it. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. I hope this video catches y'all on a good day. Yeah, let me know what y'all think. I'm going to drive the car into the river, and then we're going to roll this video out. So peace. Yeah, be sure to check out my vid shoot and all that other stuff.